first and foremost, I want to, just let Coach Copeland know, I thought his team came in and absolutely played as hard as any team that I think we've played in this building over the course of the last 2 years. He had his guys prepared and ready, and quite honestly, they punched us in the mouth, and they kept punching us all game long. If you look at the statistics, some would say they might have deserved to win this basketball game. He had his guys ready. He had his guys confident. They played hard. They played physical. They made us work for absolutely everything on both ends of the floor. So credit to Wagner, Coach Copeland, their staff. They really did a good job. Second, I'd like to just thank the shirtless herd, Rose Thrill crowd. I certainly know I don't remember that type of crowd here at all for the non-conference. Maybe not any game in the non-conference last year other than, maybe a game where we had a bunch of different groups come in. But that was honestly Fordham crowd right there. Hey, thanks for joining us, Mr. Medor. Did you say hello to all your fans?
How y'all doing?
But honestly, that's the difference. I think if that crowd wasn't in there tonight, if it wasn't as loud and as rowdy tonight, I don't know if we necessarily pull that off. So credit to the energy that they created in that building tonight. And clearly we're going to need that moving forward every single night we could possibly have a crowd in here. We need that energy. We need both end zones filled. There's no reason why Fordham isn't the most passionate and Rose Thrill doesn't become just an absolute incredible place to be on a night where the men's basketball team, especially if the women are playing as well. So we need more. I know it was great, but we need it to continue, and we need it to be even more. Any student that's just hanging out in the dorm, come over, fill the other side of the stands moving forward, because it makes a world of difference, and it's fun. It really is. Thirdly, I'd like to apologize to our fans and to my parents. My behavior tonight on the bench sometimes was too emotional. I have to do a much better job of remaining passionate, not allowing my emotions to get the best of me. That's not the way I want to coach. That's not the way I want these guys to play. So I blame myself that we weren't as good as we could have been because of my emotion, not my passion, but I let my emotion get the best of me a few different times tonight. Having said that, I still think the very last play, it's designed to do exactly what it did, and it worked. But unfortunately, we just didn't get the call. We had a resilient group. We weren't our best offensively. We weren't our best defensively. But good teams, good kids who work hard and are passionate about each other find a way to get it done. So I credit these guys. Most people don't know. We've had a lot go on the last couple of days, including Japhet waking up today and throwing up a couple times, going to the health center today. Other guys in and out of practices the last couple of days with nicked up injuries, whether or not they can practice or not. But that didn't affect anybody's attitude. Everybody stuck together. So really, really proud of our effort. Hard to win basketball games, and we're 1-0.
We'll open it up to questions. Start with Sam.
This could go for both Japhet and Elijah. You guys both led the effort behind the three-point line tonight. Could you talk about what how the spacing of the game and just the tempo and the moments where you guys hit those threes, force you guys to make those decisions to shoot those shots?
For me personally, we work on it. It's nothing new for us. Like, coaches are hard on us. You feel me? Like, we do this every day in practice. We get to our spots and we try to feed off of each other. And like Coach said, with the attendance, with the student attendance today and everybody that attended the game, it even made us even better because we wanted to fight not only for us inside, but for everybody else that came.
Go back.
Japhet, Coach touched on your illness. Did you feel a little queasy when you began today's game, or was that kind of just a morning thing?
I woke up at 4 a.m. just throwing up, and I felt the same since. So sometimes it's bigger than yourself. You feel me?
Japhet, for you, obviously you got the waiver about a week and a half ago now. It sounds like, you were dealing with some issues this morning, but what did it, mean for you to get out there today, to make your Fordham debut finally and, to put on such a strong performance that really helps you out the win there?
It's exciting. We get pushed every day for it. You feel me? So, Coach Urgo is always on top of me no matter what, even before the waiver. And all my teammates, they believe in me and trust me, and they welcome me into this culture. So it's all in. It's the only thing you can do.
For Elijah, there were moments in the game where you seemed to get more and more into it after you hit a big shot or grabbed a rebound. Did you feel yourself getting more into that rhythm, especially now your second year here?
Yeah. I definitely got more into a rhythm. I feel like I started off pretty slow. I was bad on defense early, but I feel like in the second half, when we went to the locker room, my teammates picked me up. They gave me the boost I needed. They had my back. Came out and was just confident in the work I've been putting in.
And just for Japhet, as one of the leaders of this team, being a more experienced player, what does it say about you guys that you can win this type of game specifically where it didn't always go according to plan?
It just shows that we have a lot of depth. It shows that we have a lot of character. And it also shows that we care about each other. At the end of the day, we want to win. We care about the coaches sacrificing a lot of stuff for us to be here. And it just shows us how much integrity that we have for each other.
Elijah, there was one point where you, towards the end of regulation, you hit that one shot and then you intercepted a pass and it led to a Will Richardson bucket in transition.
Mm-hmm.
Could you kind of just go through like what your what was in your head at that moment during that sequence?
So I hit the shot, boom, next play, I hit it, just whatever, move on. My mindset then is just get a stop, like do whatever so we could get a win. I'm reading. I feel like I read they play whatever like pretty well. I knew he was gonna pass the ball, so like I read it. I seen his eyes. I jumped at and just advanced the ball up. It's simple basketball.
Yeah, Coach, moving on to you. Obviously, pretty strong second half overall from the team to kind of come back and, force it into overtime there and dig out the win. But specifically, your transfer class between Josh Rivera and Japhet here had, pretty strong second halves. I think it was 14 or 15 points for Japhet in the second half, and Josh had a couple of, important shots and brought down some big rebounds. So I'm just curious, what do you make of both of their performances today? And, how important are those two to kind of what you guys are looking to do this season here at Fordham?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're both really talented, and they've been a huge addition to, our program and what we're trying to do. They've just added an incredible amount of depth and versatility. Both of those guys can do so many different things. They can guard multiple positions. They can play different positions on the floor. We have some big lineups, some small lineups with Josh in the game. You could play a lineup with Josh at the 3 and Elijah at the 4. So it just gives us a lot of different versatility, and obviously his speed, and it opens things up for Will. Will opens up things for Japhet, and the two of them in the backcourt, their speed, their athleticism, their ability to score on all three levels it makes it really difficult on the defense. So, they've been huge for us. And, Lay didn't get in today, but he's going to make a major impact, throughout the season as well. His energy is through the roof, and he's an addition that we're excited about too because he's got great leadership, great length and range. Kicking myself a little bit because, especially in the first half, he would have helped us out a lot defensively just because his motor and his energy are through the roof. So I have to do a much better job with that.
For other players, could you guys talk about how the tough defense and transition from both of you guys and Wagner really set the tempo and the tone for what this game was going to be?
Personally, we abide by attitude. So at the end of the day, our attitude is how we play our defense. Is we push each other every day in practice, and we love competing. That's one thing about it. This team loves to compete. When our back's against the wall, we're gonna compete. So Wagner came in here and started playing defense, and they came out hot as well. So it just made us come up higher. Our backs were against the wall, and we did what we had to do, come out with the win.
Coach, can you speak a little bit about the maturation of Elijah from last year to over the spring and the summer to where he is now to have that game tonight?
Yeah, no question. I mean, Elijah has obviously the ability and the talent, as much of it as anybody I've been around in my coaching career. At his size, his ability to score at all three levels, his ability to put the ball on the floor, that is not and has never been a concern of ours. He mentioned it. The difference between last year is he'd be sitting in the locker room right now trying to figure out why he didn't do X or why he didn't do Y, why he didn't play enough or whatever it might be. He's understood the way you get on the floor for us is you defend and rebound. You know, if he had made those threes, but then given up offensive rebounds or given up easy drives to the basket or not been in the right position, he would have been yanked out just like everybody else. He understands that. He's embracing that. He made it to me, I didn't even say anything. In the first half, I was horrific on defense. He said it, not me, right? He has the ability, you can see it on the offensive end, and you can see it off the ball, to move quickly enough where we could switch him onto a guard or a big. And that's very rare in a guy his size. And we have multiple guys that can do that, right? So his mentality, his work ethic, his understanding of what we're trying to do here and what wins, right? I think, you know, a lot of young guys, they come in and they're so concerned with their individual games, right? Their offense, whether or not they're scoring. He has come to realize that he could score 10 but give up 20 and he won't play the next game. So he's taken it upon himself, right? He was angry that he didn't have a rebound in our exhibition. How many rebounds did he have before I say that? What'd he do? 6! That's what I'm talking about.
8.
So he went from 0. He had 8.
Hey,
Oh, well, they're wrong in here. They
Nah,
have
I take
6.
that. Yeah.
You know, we'll check
We'll
it.
look at it.
They're not always correct.
Nah, I
But
had 8.
so he went from 0. I had 8. I guarantee he knows he had 8. So we'll do a check. But he had 0 the other night. And we made it clear. 0 points. 0 rebounds. I could care less. I don't even know how many points he had. I don't care. I don't know how many minutes. All I know is he's too good not to pursue the basketball. And we had a long discussion about it. He said, well, sometimes it just falls out. I said, well, go get it. We had a long time. I'm like, yo, if you don't rebound, if you don't defend, you're wasting all of that incredible talent you have on the offensive end. He's bought into that. It's still a work in progress, right? And you said, someone mentioned, you know, if he had missed that 3 a year ago, Elijah compounds the problem and makes a mistake on the other end. Not because he's mad at me or anybody else, but himself. He holds himself to a very high standard. This year, if he misses, I still think he sprints back and he gets that steal because he's developed his mindset and he wants to just help the team in any way he can. And every day we see it in practice. And I think it's going to continue. You're going to see a lot more great things from him.
Got time for one more? No, we're good? Or, yeah.
Coach, talking about Eli and his development, I think Jameer Tripp, is something,
Yeah.
a similar conversation to be had, right? It felt like tonight, he kind of had to hit the open 3, get the rebound, defend his man to stay on the court. Just your impressions of him in that first actual game action and those steps he has to take.
Yeah, Jameer is honestly, he's a ridiculous talent. He knows that, and I love him because he's not sitting right now like angry at me. He's angry at himself. He knows exactly what he needs to do to get on the floor. He knows he has to defend. He knows he has to rebound. He understands even if he hit that 3, he was coming out. Could care less about the offensive end. The way we're going to win basketball games, our identity is to be tough, nasty on the defensive end. If one guy is out of position or one guy isn't playing and giving us everything they have, the entire defense breaks down. It's not because he doesn't want to. It's because the speed of the game is totally different when you get in. There's a huge crowd, right? So it's not something that we don't think he's going to be able to do. Believe me, you're going to see a lot of Jameer Tripp moving forward. Just tonight, for whatever reason, sometimes you got to go with what's working and what the gut is and who you can trust. And right now, I listen a lot to Antrell and Kyle. Japhet's getting there, right? But I listen to a lot of those guys. Whatever they're telling me, I'm going to listen to. So even if they're not in, they know who they wanted to win the basketball game, which is why I love our 2 seniors and Kyle and Antrell, right? So Jameer is incredibly talented, but at this level, it's about defending and rebounding and playing the entire game. He'll get there. I know he will. Tonight was just a little bit different speed, and we weren't playing great, so we had to go with who we could trust at the moment.
Thanks, Coach. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate y'all.